DJ Dewey Rock on the track.
Welcome to E-Merch Podcast 360. I'm your host, Maserati. We want to thank you for tuning in. No matter where you are in this metaverse world, we're going to continue to bring you the best quality content and formula that we know how. We want to thank you for all the likes, shares, and subscriptions thus far on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We really appreciate the love. It's Beyond the Game. Once again, this Sunday night, this lovely Sunday night, we have a young man who pursued his dreams after he thought it may have been all over. But that just goes to show you that when you have ambition and you want to follow your dreams, anything's possible. He is born to Briscoe and April Devoil and Briscoe Burrell. He was born July 21st, 1995. He grew up in Monroe, Louisiana, and he was a graduate of Bastrop High School in 2013, where he was a 4-year starter under Coach Theodore Odom Jr. He graduated with honors with distinction with a 3.6 GPA in Mu Sigma. He attended ULM in 2013 and 2014 when he decided he wanted to pursue his dreams. He went on to Kansas Christian College, where he was a member of the first basketball team in the college program in Overland Park, Kansas, where he earned a chance to play basketball. He went on there for 2 years and earned his associate degree in general studies and transferred to the legendary now Champion Christian College in Hot Springs, Arkansas. He became a 3-year starter, earning a bachelor's degree in science, professional studies, and sports management. His junior year, he made it to the ACCA championship, where his team fell short by 2 points. He earned all academic All-American, maintained a 3.5 GPA with a Dean's List studies all throughout college. After graduation, he focused on player development skills in college high school players, where he's now currently the head junior high coach and assistant high school basketball coach at St. Frederick High School in Monroe, Louisiana, where his little Warriors are currently undefeated. We give you Esquire, Mr. KDA himself, Demarkiyo Devoil. How you doing today, Demarkiyo?
I'm doing good. How about you?
We're glad to have you on, young man. We know you did things that people sometimes give up on their dreams, and you sat back and you thought about it, that you really wanted to play college basketball. Kind of give us a rundown about you growing up here in Morehouse Parish.
Well, just growing up in Monroe, really didn't have much to do. Just be outside and play with fellow kids and stuff around the neighborhood. Either that or just in my books growing up all my life. But getting into the sports part, I really wasn't a big sports person until I came to the high school. Believe it or not, hit a growth spurt, so I was like, I got to do something with this height, and just decided to play basketball.
Right. And we know that we got in the captions that you just got a growth spurt and you kept growing throughout high school. Kind of share with us, Demarkiyo, about developing your defensive skills and shot blocking skills at high school up under Coach Odom.
Well, I knew the way I was growing, I wasn't growing bigger, so I was just growing taller. So I just used my gift, which was being smart, just timing people, learning the defensive steps, basically anticipating where they're going to jump and how high they can get off the ground just by watching them a couple plays. And then once I get that down, I know your moves now. So shot blocking, it was just an easier thing for me to do, since I knew I wasn't the strongest person on the court and the biggest person, but I knew I could time people with my mental skills.
Right. And you kind of mastered that. You know, Demarkiyo, coming up, you had a lot of brothers and sisters, brothers rather, looking up to you, and little cousins looking up to you. Who influenced you, and who was your motivation once you decided that I want to take this skill set to another level?
My brother Contavious Cash and my little sister Alana Miles, who is currently playing at basketball right now. He was my driving force, just stayed on my head to push me more because he was the football player of the family. So he knew what it took to get physically where I needed to be. And just seeing her look up to me all my life, that was just my driving force.
Right, right. You know, being a country boy, coming up riding horses and things of that nature. Demarkiyo, do you think rodeoing and being around the farm and dealing with horses, do you think that kind of help you with your toughness, knowing that you may not have been the biggest guy on the court?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would say that. Like I knew dealing with animals, there'll be a different kind of weightlifting thing versus actually getting under the weights. But just seeing like my little brothers do it, I was like, I feel like I can do it too. They more active than me with the animals and the rodeos, but just helping them and just watching, learning, it paid off.
Right. You know, and Demarkiyo, you know, you wasn't highly recruited coming out of high school. You guys, you were in contention, made the playoffs a couple of times while you were there at Frederick High. What happened that you went to ULM, no offers, but you were sitting there in that dorm room one day and you said, man, nah, this not over for me. This not what it do. I'm going to play basketball. What went through your mind while you was at ULM?
Just watching, going to basketball games, just watching other people play and realizing like this is your passion too. It just like just sitting there watching it, you only can take so much just watching somebody else do what you love and knowing that you feel like you can be out there just as much as they can. So just watching, going to games over and over, just having in my mindset that I don't want to be just a college student. I want to be a student athlete. So I had to find another way.
Right. So the ambition hits and you still had the skill set, and you noticed something that you were still growing after high school. You grew a couple more inches. Matter of fact, what happened and who did you contact in order to end up playing at Kansas Christian College?
Coach Maurice Crowder, he had reached out to me one day because he was talking to Kenjero Thompson and Quante Hawkins about going to Kansas Christian College, and he asked, was I still working out and stuff? I told him, yeah, I play basketball every day, working out. And he said he was going to get me in contact with my coach, Jay Jenkins, at the time that was at Kansas Christian. And I reached out to Coach Jenkins, and he was like, are you a big or are you a guard? Because we heavy on guards. I was like, I actually play in the post. And he asked me about my height and my size. And once I told him I was 6'6", and at that time I was 240, approaching 250, he told me to hurry up and get down there as fast as I could because he was making bigs.
Right. So you make it to Kansas Christian College. You know, Demarkiyo, a lot of guys that go off to junior college that far away from home, they end up coming back. But you stayed, but you wasn't. That wasn't still the fit for you. How was it at Kansas Christian College being a part of a program and being a member of the first basketball team of that program?
Not gonna lie, it was tough because the images you're painted in your head about being a college athlete versus the reality, they are two different completely things. And then the environment in Kansas, like being in the South all your life, you don't really just know what's up northern. So when I got there, it was cool until the winter approach. And winter in Kansas is way different than winter in Louisiana. Like the weather, you have to get ready for all that clothing change. What you think you can wear versus what you need to wear up there is different. But as far as the school wise, it was definitely a new experience because you're thinking you're walking into like a heavy, well, how to describe it? Like the weight rooms you see on TV at the colleges, you think you're walking into stuff like that. But the program is building itself up just as much as you are coming there as well. So it was a lot to take in. But if you have the mindset to stick it out, then it was worth it.
Right. You know, and we're going to take an intermission, Demarkiyo. But when we come back, I look at your accolades and your GPA. throughout high school and on to college. And when we come back, you said something key about you wanted to be a student athlete. And when we return, we want you to elaborate with the youth about the true meaning of a student athlete. We're here with Esquire, Mr. KDA himself, Demarkiyo Devoil, when we return after this intermission. Welcome back to Immerse Podcast 360. This portion of the show is being brought to you by Involved Social and Civic Club, where we understand the social and civic need, and Burcell Family Insurance Agency. We're still here with Esquire, Mr. KDA himself, Mr. Demarkiyo Devoil. Demarkiyo, we went to intermission. We were talking about the true meaning of student athlete. You said something key that you wanted to be a student athlete. Share with the youth about your true meaning of a student athlete.
Well, my true meaning of a student athlete is not just only just being in sports, but as well as being involved with the school, being involved with the community, being involved with your surroundings, maintaining they say it's a 2.0 to just play ball, but a 2.0 I feel like is too low for a student athlete. We're more than just athletes. We're like the face of the school. So I always kept my bar at a 3.0 or better, but I always wanted to get a 4.0. So 3.5 for me, it showed that I was trying to be a student athlete and just being like living up to being the face of the school, being in front of the class, not in the back of the class, being involved, being active, helping the teachers out. Because little do people know, the teachers of the school, they're probably your biggest supporters when it comes to the athletics. So if you're on their side and you're doing what you're supposed to do in class, they'll help you out in the long runs that you don't even know that they did. So being a student, my mom and my grandmom, they stayed on me all my life about keeping my grades up because I'm the oldest child. I'm the oldest grandchild. So it was already pushed in my head as a young kid that I have to keep a 3.0 or better because I have people looking up to me as well, besides being an athlete.
Right. You know, Demarkiyo, kind of share with us, what are some of the sacrifices you had to make in college in order to maintain those type grades? You know, a lot of times we go off to college and most of the time we go far away from home. We like to show out, but you sacrifice some. Kind of share with your younger youth about the things you had to sacrifice when you were in college.
So most people, when they go off to college, they like to experience the party life side of college, all the fun stuff. They're going to be nice where you have to just sacrifice going to their party and just being in your books, because college work is not what people think it is. It's actually a little bit more difficult, but it's not hard, if that makes sense. But you really have to apply yourself more than what you would do in high school, junior high, and elementary. So you have these essays, you have paperwork, all these things that you have to do that they're trying to prepare you for in high school when you get to college. So all the fun activities, you'll be able to make some, but not what you think, because you have midterms, you have finals, you have reports. The more advanced you get from freshman year to senior year, more work you will get.
Right. And you know, Demarkiyo, and it takes a strong will to be that far away from home and to stick with your ambition, because that's a decision you made to leave ULM, decided not to try out for basketball at ULM. You wanted to go somewhere where you could make a difference, and you did that at Kansas Christian College. But after that, you still had that fire inside, and you still had eligibility, and you transferred, and you went on to Champion Christian College. Share with us about going to Champion, which was a relatively new university that kind of sprung up into the NCAA and NAIA atmosphere rather quickly, and you helped do that. Kind of share with us about transferring from Kansas and then coming back to the mountains of Hot Springs, Arkansas.
But the transfer for Kansas, I already had it in my mind. Like I knew I wasn't gonna be up here for a long time because I'm used to being in the South, but I didn't just want to just go back to another school and not play. So I looked up all the different schools that were still in range for me to go and be closer so my family can come out, family and friends can come out support because without support is very hard. So just playing ball up there and just sometimes you get caught looking in the stands and you don't see your family or friends there because you're so far away. You want to do what you can to make sure everyone's happy where you can still play ball and then you'll have your support still there to come to your games, come to your graduation and make it easy on for everybody versus driving 9 to 10 hours to come watch. You can come 3 to 4 hours, which is more reasonable. So I made that decision to come to champion. Once I got to champion, it was basically similar like Kansas, but they were already up and running, and all I had to do was just fit in and fill in the spot that they were lacking in. My first year there, we had a top All-American. His name was Cody Connor, and I had an excellent point guard named Trayvon Reed. So when I fit in with them, it was like it was already meant to happen because they was really just lacking that post presence that they haven't had in a while. And they already had a heavy reputation on winning 3 championships before we all us have there. 2 was back-to-back, and then they came back with another one. So we just wanted to try to get back to having that champion atmosphere at champion, ironically.
Right. And, you know, when I saw that, I knew about Kansas Christian College because you had a couple guys from Bear Script head up that way to Kansas JUCOs. But when I saw that champion and it was so close at Hot Springs, Arkansas, I'm like, wow, I never really heard of that university. But when I looked it up, you guys rose to contention at a high rate. And when you came along, you had an opportunity your junior year to play in the ACC am I correct, championship?
Yes, sir, against Arlington Baptist University.
Out of Texas?
Yes, sir.
Share with us about that, Demarkiyo. We know I looked it up, and you was quite a defensive stopper. I looked at your high school pictures, and I looked at your college pictures. You mastered that pick, and you helped your point guards and your shooting guards free up to get those shots. Kind of tell us how you just settled down and said, I'm going to be this defensive man on this championship team.
Yes, sir. At the time, our defensive presence, our defensive guards, they all left because they was either ineligible or just didn't want to be there anymore. So I knew in order to get where we needed to be, somebody had to step up and be that defensive focus. So I just took on the responsibility instead of worrying about trying to be more offensive minded where we know we were surrounded with offensive weapons everywhere, from the point guard to the backup point guard to all the way down to me. It didn't matter who night it was offensively. Somebody was going to have a night. It was no set person. Everybody had their night where they was that man, but we wasn't a selfish team either. We understood, like, it's not going to always be our night. So I decided, you know what, let them focus on the offensive side. Let me handle the defense. Well, I knew I can speak up, I can scream, call out anything, let people know a pick coming here, a pick coming there. I can help on help side without fouling by just sometimes you don't have to take the block. You can just jump high as you can and wall up, and that alters their shots too. Just as long as you have somebody on the backside helping you with rebounding while you walling up to stop that drive. And a lot of people don't like to play that defensive role because they all worried about scoring, making highlights off of that. But defense is just as good as offense. Defense wins championships. And I knew we could run anybody out the gym. But the goal was we run them out the gym and we hold them under 70 points. So that was entitled in our brain. But I knew in order to do that, you got to have that one vocal person out there, pretty much like a Draymond Green type player that's always talking. And believe it or not, coming up, I wasn't a talkative person. I was pretty much quiet. You wouldn't even know I was in the building unless I stood up because I'm just tall. But besides that, I'm just quiet. But when it came to basketball, I knew I had to let that go and go and be that defensive force.
Right. You know, and Demarkiyo, we can't say how and you know that I'm very proud of you. You know, Coach Oldham is proud of you. Coach Crowder is proud of you for the things that you went on to do, and you really represented Bastrop very well at Champion University. You got a chance, the opportunity to do some things at Champion University that a lot of athletes take advantage of or don't have the opportunity sometimes. You got a chance straight after graduation, building all those accolades. You went right into being a student coach at Champion University. How was that experience coaching guys you just got through playing with?
You know, when you transition from just being on the court with these guys to being their coach, you would think that this is going to be a tough process, like, because these are just your teammates. Now you got to coach them. But there was pretty much a big gap difference because my senior year, it was 3 seniors, and then literally everybody were freshmen. So we already had the seniority, like real, they was already listening to us as is. So in my mind, I'm like, maybe it's not going to be as hard as you think because they were already listening to you as a player. So you know what it takes to be a good player because you made it to championship before they came. So becoming a coach, it was easier. And then also I was sharing an apartment with the players. So they thought it was going to be more challenging because of that. But when you have the respect from those players because they watched you play and then they look up to you as well because of the standards that you kept upon yourself, it was actually easier than what people think. And they made it easier for me because I like to work. So the whole summer while I was becoming in the transition to becoming a student coach, I was in the gym with them, getting them ready for the next season. And they saw the work ethic I was putting in for them to get better. And once they saw that, they just let me have it and just basically listen to anything I said because they knew I wasn't steering them wrong and trying to make sure they was better and getting ready for the next season.
Right. And you know, we look at it, that kind of propels you to where you are now with coaching. But we kind of take a flashback and we look at it from high school, you being a quiet kid, you came into your own, and you went on to go to 2 different universities. What has been your greatest accomplishment throughout your high school and college career that Demarkiyo Devoil could stand on his square about?
Okay, can you repeat that again? I didn't really hear it that much. It was going in and out.
I say, what is your biggest accomplishment that throughout high school to college that Demarkiyo Devoil would be most proud of to stand on his square about?
My biggest accomplishment is that I did not give up. Like, I did not give up on my dream to go to the next level and play because we don't have in Bastrop. From what I know, we have more football players going to the next level than we have basketball players, track players, baseball, softball. So to be another athlete that's not football to actually make it to the next level, I feel like that was one of my biggest accomplishments, not just for me, but for the city of Bastrop, city of Village Monroe, my family. We don't have a lot of athletes that excel to the next level that's just not football because this is a football city originally.
Right. And you did that and you, like I say, you made Bastrop proud. You represented us very well. But you look at it now, Demarkiyo, from the times you played coming into the era now, and you talk about that work ethic. From your experience from being with guys from all around the country, what do you think Bastrop lacks when it comes to the work ethic to have better basketball players here in the Scrop?
I usually would have said, like, get into a gym and get into a good weight room, but we have a lot of gyms around here. Actually, like, Dyson just opened back up and they have weight rooms in there. I'm pretty sure the guys that actually play at Bastrop, they can get into the weight room if they want to. I feel like it's more a mental thing. Like, a coach can only do so much for a player. We can have the drive to get you in the gym and get you there, but you got to have that drive as a player and that mental will to get to the next level. You really don't need all these high-tech things to get your body where you need. You can actually create a lot of stuff like I've done for myself. I built my own workout program myself from nothing, and it worked for me. And I didn't have a lot of technology. I didn't have a lot of weights. I just used what I could to get to where I need. So I feel like everything is mental. That's what our city lacks, is the mental drive to get there. You can say you want to get to that next level, but what are you going to do to get to that next level? Are you going to actually get up, go running, work out? It's nothing to go buy a ball out of Walmart for like $5 to get a Walmart bag if you want to work on your dribbling skills. Tie the ball in the bag and just work on your handles with it, because it makes it harder to catch the ball. It's like all these things around here. You can find scrap, anything that's heavy, and you can use those as weights to get your body where you need. It's just a mental thing overall.
Right. And, we're going to go into the next segment after this intermission, and that's what we want to talk about, Demarkiyo. You being a young inspiration around here with your age group. When we come back, we always ask our guests, looking through a glass, we want you to share about Scrap City and what you feel about what's going on in the city, and what are your ambitions now that you are in your coaching profession and you're back home when we return from this intermission. We're still here with Demarkiyo, Esquire, Mr. KDA himself, when we return. Welcome back to E-Merge Podcast. This portion of the show is being brought to you by Stepping Stones LLC of Jonesboro, Louisiana. We're still here with Mr. Demarkiyo Devoil, Esquire, Mr. KDA himself. Demarkiyo, looking through a glass, we always ask our guests this. What do you feel about and see going on with the city of Scrap, and what are some of the solutions that you have in mind for the youth?
I feel like our youth is like, we don't have a lot of activities going on anymore for the youth. Keep them out of trouble, because there's more youth stuff that's going on negatively in the city more than adults. So I remember when I was younger, they had like many youth basketball programs, youth football leagues that they used to do with the kids to keep them busy, keep them active. So once they got to the high school, it was like the football team, it was already just ready to run. They just need to be sharpened up. Like the basketball team, where we had a couple of good athletes that I watched coming up, they were already ready because they participated in like the Dotson Youth League thing where they used to have the basketball program. So I feel like a lot of activities in the city has been taken away, and we need to get back to doing it just to keep our youth busy instead of turning to the violence and turning to the streets of Bastrop, because the crime rate and stuff here is been going off the roof, and it's not the same Bastrop anymore.
Right. We know, Coach, you're now coaching at St. Frederick. You're the head junior high coach and assistant head high school coach. What are some of the things you gained over your experience that you think you could implement here in Scrap and help the youth kind of stay focused and pursue their ambitions? Because they have them, Coach. It's just like you said, no one supports them. What are some of the things that you have in mind for them, Coach?
Well, I know once the season's over with all basketball season over with, because I know our season starts a little earlier than public schools. So once I have an overview of the whole season, I plan on coming back down here during like summers and stuff, and just finding athletes that wants to work. Like I don't want to charge them anything. I just want the city to be better And anybody that wants a chance to make it out, I want to be one of those people that help them and get them to the next level. Different workouts, drills we can work on. If you want to do strength and conditioning, I'm good at that as well. That's all been in my expertise, just as a coach, just learning and just pass on what I had learned myself to the next kid that wants a chance to make it out.
Well, Coach, kind of tell the kids where they could reach you at for these skill sets trainings.
Okay, you can reach me on my Facebook under Demarkiyo Devoil. I'm available anytime. Just shoot a message to me, and I'll get with you. We can set up different programs or whatever you need to get better, talk more about basketball, just want to talk to somebody that knows the game, just want to take in more knowledge, because knowledge is more like it helps out with basketball too, more than just being physically gifted. If you have a good knowledge for the game, it makes the game way easier. Because I was always told basketball is 80% mental, 20% physical. So if you mentally ready for that, then I'll be able to help out with that as well.
Right, Coach, and we just was congratulated you on becoming the head basketball coach of the junior high school and assistant coach for the high school at St. Frederick. And Coach, you have those little warriors undefeated. Coach, share, because I taught at Head Start and taught coach junior high. Middle school football with the Basket Baby Rams, and those little ones are special. And it's kind of hard to coach them at times. Share the experience, Coach, with the little warriors you got.
Oh man, they are a special bunch. I can say that, like, from the head all the way down to the tail, they are incredible. Now, most kids, when you're dealing with them, it's hard to keep their attention. They be just hyper, just bouncing everywhere, just going crazy. So you got to calm down. But if you actually talking to them through their language and keeping it professional at the same time, it works. It's like a good balance for both. You push them, then you reward them. They reply more. So with this group, I came in the summer just to help out and just to see where I would be at, and they were already ready. They was hungry. Like, they found who I was. They got close with me. We built a relationship over the summer, and every chance they got, even when they played junior high football, they would like hurry up and leave football practice to come in the gym and catch me before I leave to get some work in. Like, you don't find that in a lot of kids where they would leave their football schedule to come sneak in the gym to work out even more for basketball because they know the season coming up. And like, that impressed me just to see that they're just as hungry for the game as much as I love it. And then just to sit down and actually talk about the different documentaries that came out, like The Last Dance, The Redeem Team. Like, they will sit there and go back and forth with you about what they learned from it and just talk basketball with you. And you don't find that a bunch of young kids. But besides, they're just maintaining their focus and actually showing them things that they can do versus trying to teach them stuff that makes it hard on them. You just adapt to how they learn and just see how they intake stuff. Once you get that down, it's actually easier to coach them. But just keeping their focus is the main thing.
Right. And Coach, I know you're doing a beautiful job. I can hear in your voice that you love your young little warriors. Coach, what is it like? I know you got to go. You got an event today with the riding club. Shout out the Top of the Boot. Coach, what are your future looks like with coaching? Do you intend on taking this thing and coaching at the next level? What are some of your ambitions on coaching? And give us a little wrap before we go in the day in the life for Esquire Demarkiyo Devoil.
Yes, sir. I want to take coaching as far as I can with it. Honestly, at first, I didn't see myself as a coach because of, like I said, I'm more of a quiet person. I just saw myself as a strengthening and developmental type of coach where I wouldn't be on the floor. I'll be probably on the bench helping with the players, but behind closed doors, I'm training them, getting them stronger, getting them better. But now I see I really have a good look at coaching, like just being out there because I'm watching the game as it is. So what I watch, I already break down in my head faster than the normal person. So being an assistant at first, where I was in college, I was already on the bench active, just helping the coach out, seeing stuff that he wasn't even paying attention to. And then coming back down here, doing it over the summer, where I got a little taste of summer league ball. He just threw me out there. It was like, let me see how you're going to be as a coach. And I was nervous at first. I'm not going to lie to you. I was very nervous because I wasn't expecting it. But now I'm into it. Now I actually think I want to do this even further. So if I get to a higher level, if God takes me there, I'll take it. But as right now, I'm just enjoying what I'm doing right now. If an offer comes, I'll take it. But I'm just taking my time with it.
So what's the day in the life with Esquire Demarkiyo Devoil on a regular day, Coach? Kind of share with us what's a regular day like with you now, being a member, top of the boot. Like I said, you got an event today. Kind of share with us what a Demarkiyo doing to keep himself active and in the community and keep yourself relevant right now.
So as far as myself, I'm finna start going back to Dotson when I don't have practice. Just go up there just to help out kids that's up there working out and stuff. You can catch me up there after like around 5 or 6ish to whenever it closes. I'll just be up there more, just working on myself as well, just staying in shape just for myself. But after that, I'm with Top of the Boot Riding Club, and we're not just a riding club. We also do community service around Bastrop, try to help make the community better. Food drives we're coming up with, just trying to give back to Bastrop and just show the kids that there's more to Bastrop than just sports, the negative stuff that goes on around here. You can get involved with trail riding groups and stuff just to have a good time, line dances. It's like a more better environment to me. Like, I actually have fun. You meet new people, actually meet different social clubs as well, get interactive with them, go to their events, just support each other. It's like a big, huge family. And like our event today, we're hosting an event in Columbia later on. And I feel like it's going to be a good event because it's nothing but positive vibes. We don't have no violence, no guns, no drugs, all that stuff. Just go out there, just have fun, line dancing, meet new people, ride four-wheelers, bring your horses. It's just a very good environment. And besides that, I just be to myself with my dogs. I go see my family every now and then. But besides that, just trying to focus on myself and keep painting a bigger picture for my future.
Right, Demarkiyo. And I know, once again, I'm almost going to say how proud we are. I know your dad and your mom is proud, and I went to school with your dad, and I see him often, and every time we bring your name up about coaching and things you did, he just light up, and he's so proud of you. He wants you to keep pushing for higher things because he knows it's in you. Being part of KDA, we can't leave without shouting out to KDA. Give your shout out to your boys. Call out your boys. Now, I know you want to shout them out before we let you go, Demarkiyo.
Yeah, shout out to the KDA family, my Uncle Chris, my dad, my cousins, D-Ray, Quan, Sean, Wanye, Zaire, Mike, Cortez, Jermaine, CJ, all my family. Just shout out to them and shout out to my mom's side of the family as well, because I know they're going to be listening soon. My brothers, my sister, my mom, my aunt, my grandma, my grandfather. Just shout out to the family. And also my supporting cast, my friends that's going to be listening to soon. Shout out to my teammates because they're going to be chiming in as well. And shout out to my coaches, my mentors, and my uncles that's not my uncles, but they know that they're my uncles.
Right. Demarkiyo, once again, man, we're proud for you, things you have done, and we greatly appreciate you coming on. Is there anything here at eMerge 360 that we can do for Mr. Esquire?
Just keep putting out good content, man. I love listening to y'all podcasts.
Right, bro. And we appreciate the support that you give. And go ahead and enjoy your event today, bro. And like I say, shout out to Top of the Boot. Shout out to KDA. This has been another episode of Beyond the Game with Esquire, Mr. Demarkiyo Devoil. Hey, I'm your host, Maserati. We want to thank you for tuning in no matter where you are in this metaverse world. We want to thank you for all the likes, shares, and subscriptions. And we want y'all to do most of all, y'all get involved. Y'all get encouraged. And most of all, y'all stay immersed. We out of this thing.
I'm gonna give a shout out to my nephew, Kick Dirty. Positive journey. Everybody stand up for positivity.
All my big dogs want you stand up. All my street goons want you stand up. If you white collar, give me stand up. If you get it independent, stand up. Now all my big boss chicks stand up. Now all my keep it good chicks stand up. Now if you get it how you live, stand up. Nice whip on crib, stand up. I keep my fist in the air, cause I don't care. Look hard until I die, I'ma try to get you up out of there. Most high, watch out for him, cause big bro in these streets. I share my life when I talk behind these beats. A 318 rider, standing on top of the South. It's your boy PJ, I told you what that boot life all about. Still let it folk. I had to finish and let the sun hit it from the city full of hustlers, born and raised, go get it. Stop to the hustler, stay connected to the muscle. It's red, black, and green over here, way deeper than colors. Mama said, son, go hard, don't look back. Leave the past where it's at, always state these facts. Truth be told, kinfolk, we living in the last days. Government shutdowns, and yeah, ain't nobody getting paid. That's why I'm dying to stay focused, my enemies necessary. Cause there's too many of mine buried early in the cemetery. Protect your kids, grind hard, marinate your mind. It's a war going on, and we running out of time. And 92% of the homicides is black on black crime. We merging together over here so the whole city can shine. That's why when I stand up, it's for the streets and the strap. Get your money, dream big, and don't stop. Yeah. When I stand up, it's for the streets and the strap. Stay focused, dream big, and don't stop. Yeah. All my big dogs want you stand up. All my street dudes want you stand up. If you white collar, give me stand up. If you get it independent.